carbohydrates, these are also the plant products, right? They are also biosynthesizing into the different medicinal plants, and from there it can be secreted by, as a form of secondary metabolites that can be used for the different pharmaceutical necessities, or in the formulation of the different pharmaceutical doses form, right? So it is having as you may know that the carbohydrate is having these, it's a nutritional value also, since we are getting it from the different grains like rice, maize, and wheat, right? So that's what uh, if it is having medicinal importance, pharmaceutical necessity, and it is also the nutritional importance. So let us discuss what is the carbohydrate and how it is going to be, right? Carbohydrates, as a name suggests, were defined as a group of compounds, right? It is what? Group of compounds composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, in which the later two elements means hydrogen and oxygen, right? Later two elements are in the same proportion or same quantity as in water, and were expressed by the formula CH2O. Actually 2 should be down, right? CH2O superscript N whole square N, that is hydrates of carbon, that is nothing but hydrates of carbon. So this unit, it is going to be increased in the monosaccharides, disaccharides, polysaccharides, that we are going to discuss in the coming slides. Carbohydrates are among the first products to arise as a result of photosynthesis, right? As we know that all the plants, they conduct photosynthesis as the part of the manufacturing or biosynthesizing of their food, because carbohydrate is the food for the plants also, right? It is not only food for the us, right? So they constitute a large proportion of a plant biomass, and are responsible as cellulose for the rigid cellular framework, and as a starch for providing an important food reserve, right? Providing a important food reserve, that we have seen into the cell inclusions, right? There we have seen in secretory products, right? They are food reserves, right? Is the special pharmacognostical importance in the fact that the sugar units with a wide variety of other compounds to form glycosides and the secondary metabolites, right? So that's what we have seen in the glycosides also, how the carbohydrates will be attached with the glycon and a glycon moiety, right? So and these are the secondary metabolites, of course, we are discussing. So when we trying to classify the carbohydrate, how we can classify, right? Depend on the unit, that CH2O whole square N, simple sugar, or that is called as saccharides, right? These are, this may be depend on the number and quantity present of the saccharides, like monosaccharides, disaccharides, trisaccharides, and the tetrasaccharides, and so on, right? When it is more than this, it is known as the polysaccharides, right? So that's what, one saccharides or simple sugar, or polysaccharides, basically two category, and this has been divided into a further four category, right? So let us discuss one by one what they are and how they are. Monosaccharides, the first one. The term monosaccharides is employed for such sugar that on hydrolysis yield no further, right? Or this is lower sugars, right? That's what mono, right? The general formula of monosaccharides is CN H2N on, right? So the monosaccharides are subdivided to as a bios, trios, tetros, pentos, hexos, heptos, depending upon the number of carbon atoms they possess, right? Here the carbon atom, what is the number, that accordingly it will be increasing, tri, tetra, penta, and so on. So let us see the bios. They contain two carbon atom, bi, right? Bi means two. They don't occur free in nature, that's what. When it comes to the tri means three. So they contain three carbon atoms, but in the form of phosphoric esters. For example, you can see the glyceraldehyde, right? When it comes to tetra means four. So the tetros, we can pronounce this tetros. They contain four carbon atoms. For example, erythros, then threos, etc. Pentos means five. So they are very common in plants and are products of the hydrolysis of polysaccharides like hemicellulose, mucilase, and gums. For example, you can see the pentose example: ribose, arabinose, and xylose. These are the example of pentose under monosaccharides. Hexose means six. They they are monosaccharides containing six carbon atoms and are abundantly available carbohydrate in plant kingdom. Right, they are further divided into the two types like aldose and the ketose. They may be obtained from the hydrolysis of polysaccharides like starch, insulin, etc. When it comes to the heptose, they contain seven carbon atoms. Then vitally important into the photosynthesis of plants and glucose metabolism of animals and are rarely found in accumulated in plants. For example, glucoheptose and monoheptose. So like that, the distribution will be there into the plant. Coming to the second one, disaccharides. When we talk about disaccharides, carbohydrates which upon hydrolysis yield two molecule, right? Di means two molecules of monosaccharides. That's what we have discussed in last slide. Of monosaccharides, because it is the smallest unit, are called disaccharides. So here you can see how the kinds of hydrolysis takes place. Sucrose, if it will undergo hydrolysis, it is going to yield into the two monosaccharides called glucose and fructose. Right, sugarcane. This is an example. Sugarcane, it happened in sugarcane plant. It happened, right? These kinds of hydrolysis. Coming to the maltose, when maltose undergo hydrolysis, it will yield into the glucose and glucose. That is malt sugar. Okay. Lactose, if it will undergo hydrolysis, it will yield into the glucose and galactose. That happen into the cow milk, right? Cow milk. Trisaccharides, third one, trisaccharides. As the name indicates, these liberate three molecules. How many molecules? Three molecules of monosaccharides on hydrolysis. Let's discuss with the example that raffinose, right? Under when it go under hydrolysis, it will yield into the three monosaccharides called glucose, fructose, and galactose in beet or in sugarcane, beetroot. You can see, right? And in sugarcane, it happen. Then the gentinose undergo hydrolysis, it will yield into the glucose and fructose. That happen in gentian root, as the name indicate, gentinose, right? So in gentian root, it happened. This kind of hydrolysis happened. Coming to the next one, tetrasaccharides. The the stacose tetrasaccharides yield on hydrolysis four molecules, right, of monosaccharides found in the mana. Fourth one, polysaccharides. On hydrolysis, they gives an indefinite number of monosaccharide. That's what poly. Poly means there is no specific number. It is more than that. What we have discussed. On condensation, with the elimination of water molecule, polysaccharides are produced from monosaccharides. Depending upon the type of products of hydrolysis, these are further classified as penta, pentosanes and hexosanes. Then xylene is pentosanes, whereas starch, insulin, and cellulose are the example of hexosanes. Those are nothing but polysaccharides only. How we are going to identify the carbohydrates? What are the taste recommended for carbohydrate that you might have discussed already into the organic chemistry and in your interclasses also? So let us have the review on to the what are the taste available for carbohydrate. The first one, the reduction of failing solutions to the solution of carbohydrate, whatever the sample you have prepared, equal quantity of failing solution A and B if you will add, and if you subject it for heating, brick red ppt it is going to obtain, right? So that will be the indication of positive taste for carbohydrate. Molish taste, the taste positive with soluble as well as insoluble carbohydrate, it gives molish taste, right? There are two types of, that's what it consists of treating the compounds with alpha naphthol. You should remember this. Molish taste means alpha naphthol and a concentrated sulfuric acid, which gives purple color. That purple color it is indicating. With a soluble carbohydrate, this appears as a ring if the sulfuric acid is gently poured in into form a layer below the aqueous solution. With an insoluble carbohydrate such as cotton wool, in that cellulose will be there, The color will not appear until the acid layer is shaken to bring it in the contact with the material, so that it can touch with the come into the contact of cellulose, because cotton wool how it will be, right? So that's what here we need to take some extra measures, right? You have to shake the layer properly so that it will give the, so like that's a Morris test, it will helpful into soluble and non soluble insoluble carbohydrates. Then ozone formation, there is a one other identification parameters which we can perform. Ozones are sugars derivatives formed by heating a sugar solution with phenyl hydrazine hydrochloride, the sodium acetate, and acetic acid. If you will heat with this, it will form. If the yellow crystals which form are examined under microscope, they are sufficiently characteristic for certain sugar to be identified. Like, then it will be easy to identify certain sugar to be identified. It is going to characteristic. It should be noted that glucose and fructose from same ozone, like glucosazone, or the melting point is 205 centigrade, right? So like that, before melting point are taken, ozone should be purified by recrystallization from alcohol, and sucrose doesn't form an ozone. But under the condition of the above test, sufficient hydrolysis takes place for the production of glucoseazone, right? So that is also one of the identification parameter which we can do. Next, we can do the the resorcinol test for ketones. Like when the crystal of the resorcinol is added to the solution of warmed on a water bath with equal volume of concentrated HCl, the rose color is produced if the ketone is present. Like these are nothing but fructose, honey, and hydrolyzed insulin. Test for pentose, what we can do, heat the solution of the substance in the test tube with equal volume of hydrochloric acid. Here the need to remember hydrochloric acid we need to heat, containing a little fluoroglycerol. As we know that fluoroglycerol, it is going to get the red color or pink color, which indicate the pentoses. Killer Kiliani test for deoxy sugar. Actually, killer Kiliani test is for the glycosides. So here also we can adopt, because deoxy sugars found in the cardiac glycosides. It is going to dissolve in acetic acid containing a trace of ferric chloride and transfer to the surface of concentrated sulfuric acid. At the junction of the liquids, reddish brown color is produced, which gradually become blue. That is the indication of presence of deoxy sugars. Then phosphorus test. In carbohydrate sample is heated in the test tube with a drop of syrupy phosphoric acid to convert it into the furfural. Right. The disc of filter paper moistened with the drop of 10% solution of aniline in the 10% acetic acid is placed over the mouth of the test tube, right? Like tested the filter paper, we need to wrap in disc shape and we have to place onto the test tube mouth. The bottom of the test tube is heated for 30 to 60 degree. The pink or a red stains appear on the reagent paper where which you have placed onto the mouth of the test tube, right? So this test also it is helping to identify the carbohydrates. So coming to the biosynthesis of carbohydrate, how they are biosynthesizing in the plant, right? So production of monosaccharides by photosynthesis. Photosynthesis every plant they will do, because this is the only method to produce the food for them. So how it is going to, carbohydrates are products of photosynthesis, a biologic process that converts electromagnetic energy into the chemical energy. In the green plant, the photosynthesis consists of two classes of the reactions. One class comprises that the so-called light reactions that actually convert electromagnetic energy into chemical potential. The other class consists of the enzymatic reactions that utilize the energy from the light reactions to fix the carbon dioxide into sugar. These are referred as to the dark reactions because it happened in the dark or inside, right? So you can see here the carbohydrate biosynthesis, how it will takes place. right from the beginning. Here, the metabolic pool, the pyruvate, how the pyruvic acid pyruvate will be then glucose 6 phosphate. It is how it is converting in ATP. It is giving then monosaccharides, the hexose 6 phosphate. Here, interchanging, right? Then the galactose derivatives, how it is going to come here, aldose 1 phosphate, right? Then disaccharides, how it is going to glycosides. Like that, it is coming to from here. It is going to be the polysaccharide. So in this process, here glucose, carbohydrates, monosaccharides, carbohydrates, galactose derivatives, carbohydrates, polysaccharides, carbohydrates. So how they are synthesizing in the because of the photosynthesis, because photosynthesis is the basic process where the in the presence of sunlight, chlorophyll, water, these particular reactions, where C6H5O6, the carbohydrate it is going to produce, that is the food of the plants, right? So in that way it is going to from monosaccharide, disaccharides, polysaccharides, and many types of saccharides or carbohydrate, they are biosynthesizing inside the plant, especially in the carbohydrate containing medicinal plants like Acacia tragacan, isabgol, and so on. Production of sucrose, how it happened. Sucrose is the considerable metabolic importance in higher plants. Yes, studies have shown that sucrose is not only the first sugar formed in photosynthesis but also the main transport material it involved, right? Newly formed sucrose is therefore probably the usual precursor for the polysaccharide synthesis, because as we have seen into the here, like sucrose, the monosaccharides even, then ultimately it is going to so many complicated reaction, it will be that UDP sugars, disaccharides, then it is going to coming to the polysaccharide. So that's what it is going to the precursor, the initial products for polysaccharide synthesis, because the initial sucrose supposed to be there, then only polysaccharides can be formed, because sucrose only they are joining together and they are making poly. Although the alternative pathway consisting of a reaction between glucose 1 phosphate and fructose is responsible for sucrose production in the certain microorganism. The biosynthesis of this important metabolite in higher plants apparently occurs. Here you can see the pathway of sucrose biosynthesis, right? How it is because of the photosynthesis only the fructose it comes, then glucose, glucose 1, then glucose, then like that in this this one is the important, then coming to the fructose, right? So this cycle it will go on, right, into the photo during the photosynthesis, and the particular sucrose is going to form, and that sucrose it will be later on it will be involving into the synthesis of polysaccharides, right? So ultimately, how we can conclude the introduction parts? The carbohydrates are essential elements in plants and very useful for humans also, because we have seen that the most of the our part of our foods like rice, chapati, or different grains like wheat, maize, whatever the things you are eating is the part of your regular food. Even in your the in your breakfast, like whatever the things you are eating, idli, vada, dosa, whatever it is, there are carbohydrates, because carbs consumption it is more in our country, and it is not that if you will reduce that consumption you are going to become weak or you are going to become have your weight loss. It's not like that. Carbohydrate are also having one limited consumption, limited metabolism in our body, right? Yes, it is very useful for human being, but here the things are going opposite. These are the important secondary metabolites which are having various use in pharmaceutical industry as well as in the medicines, right? That's what why it is important secondary metabolites. In starting only I told you that in pharmaceutical industry, if you'll talk about the tablet manufacturing, capsule, or the syrup, ointment, liniment, lotion, whatever the type of formulations, starch, PVP, different types of cellulose, hemicellulose, these are the part of our formulation. Without that, it is not possible to go for different types of formulations, right? So that's what I told you. Pharmaceutical necessity of that's in that, as well as in medicines, the of course, because arabinose, arabinoic acid, arabine, these are the constituents present in the carbohydrate like acacia, tragacan, isabgol, and many other medicinal plants where the carbohydrates are being biosynthesizing. This can be used for the food supplements also, as well as for the different medicinal purpose also. That's what it's very very important. There are different source of carbohydrates from different plants which need to be studied properly in their pharmacognostic details, because we should know that what is the biological source, what is which plant, which genus they belongs, what is the species, which family they belongs from, and why they are having medicinal value, what is the kind of chemical constants are there, and that particular chemical constants are having what kind of pharmacological action, what kind of therapeutic value, that need to be understand properly, because that's what pharmacognostic details it is important. Because there only we will come to know that what is the microscopical characteristic, what is the what do you call microchemical parameters, what are the chemical constants present in that, and what are the medicinal use and pharmaceutical use of that particular medicinal plant which is there in the carbohydrate, right? So this is the introduction parts. Here we discussed about the definition, classification, and the biosynthesis of the carbohydrate, and about the different identification test of carbohydrate, right? So that's what we need to discuss further in the coming classes about the drug like acacia, tragacan, isabgol, and all the drug which is there, which is known for the carbohydrate containing crude drug.